Oh, the Poopa Scoopa story. Yeah, I love telling the Poopa Scoopa story. Yes, because
Well, break it down.
you know how we're like a bunch of knuckleheads, people in recovery. So you got to really get your when this thing, whatever it is that does the speaking, it has to really be creative to try to get something through. So the Poopa Scoopa story is just about a person who has a beautiful house, maybe not so much a beautiful house, but a beautiful yard. And that yard is a big part of his life. He likes to jump, off the deck onto the lawn in the morning and run around in the morning dew with no shoes. And he actually rents it for, marriages, marriage ceremonies. He has like lawn bowling tournaments there. He loves it. And then one day he jumps off the his porch and he lands on some shit. Now, that changes things immediately. So he goes out, gets back on the porch, cleans off his foot, and now he starts wearing shoes, never to run around in the morning dew again. And he starts walking around the lawn and he sees a lot of shit and it's starting to smell and everything. So he's overwhelmed. He doesn't know what to do. So he just goes inside and closes the door, draws the shade, and a few hours later, he goes back out, hoping it changed. It did. It got worse. There's tons of shit everywhere. So now he just goes back in and he calls up his neighbors and he starts bitching. What the fuck? There's tons of shit on my lawn. And then he realizes a lot of people have the same problem. And they keep calling each other, bitching about it. What are we going to do? And they start having meetings. And so he's attending the meetings, and everyone's, oh yes, well now I've, whatever, and everyone's just trying to make do with this impossible burden of shit everywhere. So then he realizes, hey, he sees a little YouTube tutorial about poopa scoopers, and he figures, hey, I'm going to get one of those, and if I good at it, I can at least get maybe a 3 by 6 foot piece of my lawn and sort of enjoy it for a while and then deal with the shit tomorrow. Yeah. So he starts doing that and he starts sharing at these meetings, and people like what he's sharing. So they start getting poopa scoopers, and so now he's using two poopa scoopers at the same time, and he's putting out tutorials. And in this community he starts becoming like a circuit speaker, and he brings about, and when he's there he's selling his autographed poopa scoopers, and he wrote a book, shit no more, whatever. And he's got this whole thing. He's got a leather jacket with poopa scooper, Mr. Scooper here, whatever. And so he has a solution, yeah, and everyone's looking up to him, and everyone's got his poopa scoopers. And so some guy comes over and says, hey, I heard you had a big problem. He says, no, I don't have any problem. Didn't you see me? I'm on the YouTube. I'm the Mr. Poopa Scooper. So the guy listens to him, and as he's leaving, he says, find the dog. So now the guy's left with the solution, the guy who thinks he has a solution, which is leather jackets, fucking 500 boxes of poopa scoopers in the garage, you know, his status, his self-esteem, his pride. So he's not that into the solution that was just offered, because he thinks he has a much more viable solution, being Mr. Poopa Scooper. But the solution is very simple. Get rid of the dog. If there ain't no dog, there's not going to be any shit. The dilemma with us is we think we're the dog. So we can't entertain getting rid of us other than killing ourselves, which some people end up doing, yeah? But we're saddled with this misidentification. We don't see the dog as other. So it's either, you know, become a master pooper scooper, or that's that, because I'm not gonna kill the dog because I am the dog in a sense. Yeah. So therefore we get into all these convoluted solutions, but really they're just avoiding the simple solution. Find the dog. Yeah. So maybe if you're not the dog, you can get rid of it. You can abandon it. Yes. And you're not self. So you can abandon this idea. You can get rid of this idea. You can outgrow this idea. Yeah. And most of the descriptions of the effects of the program are just that in the big book. What it's like when you outgrow this idea. Yeah? Remarkable things follow. Yeah? All that shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the Poopa Scoopa.